let's make this merry little Christmas stocking. It's the little version of this cozy classic stocking. So by comparison, let me show you. Cozy classic is about 21, 22 inches long, and the merry little is about 13. So this is a fun little quick project. The yarn you're going to want, I usually use Yarn Bee Eternal Bliss. And another option is Bernat Blanket Big, so you can pick what you have available. All right, we'll start with the cuff color. And if you'd like to have a pattern to follow along, I'll link that down below in the description. So first things first, we need to make a slip knot. So here's the tail end, here's the working yarn from the ball. We're going to put the working yarn on top of the tail end to make a loop, and put that loop on top of the working yarn, reach in the loop, pinch and pull up a new loop, and then pull that knot tight. We need about a 6-inch tail-ish, somewhere around there. Let's make this loop a little smaller, about 2.5 fingers, and you can tighten the knot on this side and make the loop smaller by pulling on this side. And now we're going to make a chain. We're going to make a chain with 10 loops on it. So put this loop on top of the working yarn, pinch, pull up a new loop, and lay it flat. Pinch, pull up, lay it flat. These loops you don't want to be too small, otherwise the edge of the cuff right here will end up being really tight. So we want these loops to be about 3, maybe even 3.5 fingers in size. So pinch, pull up a new loop, lay it flat, pinch, pull up, lay it flat. Do that until you have 10 loops. You can count the loops by counting the top edges here. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. So that loop on the end counts as 10. Okay, then what we're going to do, we're going to flip this chain down on its face. And if you look closely, you'll see on the back, there's these little bumps in the middle. And we're going to make new loops underneath those bumps. So we're going to kind of get your finger underneath that bump. Put the yarn under there and pull up a new loop. Let's do that for all of them, working our way back towards the left. These loops you want to be a little bit smaller, more like a small 1.5 to 2 fingers. So under that bump, pull up your new loop. Make sure you don't miss this last one. Okay, kind of straighten it out a little bit here. Make sure it doesn't get twisted. We want our loops pointing up. We should count 9 loops pointing up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, plus the 10th one on the side. Now what we're going to do, we're going to bring this one on the right, bring it around to make a circle. Make sure this working yarn is in the middle of the circle. Then you're going to put this loop on the end on top of the far left loop. Okay. And now we're going to pick that up. You'll see this tail end kind of marks the beginning, or where one round starts and one ends. We're going to work our way around in a circle going left. Let's get our yarn. It's in the back. Kind of use your hand, the left hand, hold the yarn in the back, and your right finger to reach in the loop and pull up a new loop. And work our way left around the circle. Keeping these loops, kind of a tight 2 fingers, so I call them 1.5. So it's important to keep those about the same size, and then make sure the yarn in the back isn't gapping a lot. So we kind of keep these stitches or loops close to each other so there's no extra yarn between stitches. All right, back around. So you can either use this tail to mark, the beginning of one round and the end, or you can use a piece of contrasting yarn as a stitch marker. So if you like to do it that way, you can just stick this yarn in here, and it kind of marks the beginning and end of each round. Okay, now we're going to keep going. We're going to do 4 rounds of this. So let's keep working our way around. Now your options for keeping track of your rounds is to either just keep a tally each time you come back to the stitch marker, put a tally mark on a piece of paper, or you can learn how to actually count the stitches. I'll show you that. Okay, so if you want to count the rounds, you can look closely. It's kind of hard to see this white fluffy yarn, but each stitch forms a V. Kind of pull it up, you can see. So work your way down from a loop. Here's 1 V, 2 V, plus the loop. So this is 1 round, 2 rounds, 3 rounds. So I need to do, it's a little harder to see on this one. Here we go. 1, 2, 3. I need to do 4 rounds. So let's do one more. All right. So that should be 4. Let's see. 1, 2, 3. So loop makes 4 rounds. Okay, so now this round number 5, we're going to start by doing knit 2 together, which means just take the next, so this is the last stitch here, the next 2, overlap them and put the yarn through 2 loops at the same time. That's knit 2 together, and then we're just going to keep going around as normal. That just makes the inside of the stocking a little bit smaller than the outside of the cuff. Since we're folding that cuff over such a thick stocking, it helps to have the outside of the cuff a little bigger. Okay, there we go. Okay, so that was 5 rounds. We're going to do 2 more rounds for a total of 7. And if you want to, you can also, as you go, you can move your stitch marker up. So kind of follow the groove between these 2 loops here. Bring it up higher. Makes it easier to see. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 on that side. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, so it's 7 all the way around. Now we're going to change to the main color. So I'm going to cut this tail, but leave 16 inches or so. I'll actually measure it out. All right, let's get our main stocking color. Let's match up the tails so that there's 16 inches for both of them. All right, so now we're just going to start knitting with the red instead. Next stitch, just pick up the red. After you've done a few stitches and it's kind of held in place, we can actually now tie these together with just a half knot. Kind of hold them in place. And then I'll put the tails inside the tube and pull them down so they're out of my way and can continue. We're going to do 7 rounds of this main color and then we'll do the heel. All right, here's my 7 rounds, and you can tell where the beginning of this round and end of the round is where this jog in the color is. That's normal when you do knitting in the round with colors. So it can also count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. All right, and now we're going to do the heel. So for the heel, what we're going to do is called short rows. So for a few rows, we're going to just kind of work our way back and forth, but not go all the way around. So we're going to ignore these 2 stitches. We're going to kind of go left and right and build up the heel before we continue all the way around again. So it's good to have your notes here. I'll also put them on the screen so you can follow along. So we're going to start with left 3. Let's go left for 3 stitches. 1, 2, 3. And then when we change directions, move your yarn the other way. Always skip the first stitch when you're going back the other direction. So now we're going to go right for 5. Let's do 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Okay, changing directions again. We're going left for 4. Again, skip that first stitch. Do the next one. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Now we're going to go back right for 3. 1, 2, and 3. Okay, now we've been decreasing the number of stitches. Now we're going to start increasing how many we're picking up. So we're going to go left for 4. 1, 2, 3. And before we do the 4th one, you'll notice there's kind of this big gap here. So what we're going to do, we're going to actually pick up a new loop. So kind of find the middle of it here. You can find a spot in there to put your yarn in there to pick up a new loop. Then put that loop behind the next stitch, that 4th loop. And we're going to knit those 2 together. So that was left for 4. Now we're going to go right for 5 and do a similar thing. So let's go right for 1, 2, 3, 4. And again, before that last one, you see that there's this big gap. So pick up a new loop. Put the new loop behind the next one, that 5th one. Sometimes they want to kind of twist on the end, so make sure it's not twisted. It all lines up with the row below it. Okay, so that new loop behind loop 5, knit it together. Now we're going to go left for 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And again, there's that gap. So pick up a new loop in the gap. Put the new loop behind number 6. Knit those 2 together. And now we're actually going to continue left. I'm going to do the next stitch, just 1 here. Knit 1. And you'll see there's another gap. So let's pick up a loop in the gap. Put that new loop behind the next one. We're going left, so we'll put it behind the left one. Knit those 2 together. and then we're going to knit 2 more, 1, 2, and that finished up that round. You can see we're back at the end of the round here. Okay, now we're just going to continue knitting left like normal, and we're going to do 4 rounds. Let's see, I might move my stitch marker up a little higher. Okay, let's do 4 rounds, and it will end up being a total of 18 rounds of the red. Let's do 4, 1. Okay, I finished 4 rounds, and that's for the foot. So if you want to double check, start at the jog here so you know you're on the end of this round, and count the V's. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, and the loop makes 18. Okay, so now we get to do the toe. So with the toe, let's see, we're actually going to back up 1 stitch, because what I need to do is decrease over these 3 stitches, but I want it on the heel here. So just back up 1, so we're 1 short of finishing round 18. And the next round we're going to do what's called a central double decrease, which just means we're knitting 3 together with the middle one on top. So if this was the last stitch where the yarn's coming from, take the next 3 stitches, but put the middle one on top. So there's 3 stitches all lined up, put the yarn through all 3. So let's knit 3 together with the middle on top, which is a central double decrease. Now we're going to just knit 1 stitch. I'm going to do another central double decrease, so take the next 3 stitches, middle one on top. Okay, and now we're going to knit 1 more. Okay, and now we're actually going to close it up so we can cut our yarn. You don't need a whole lot here, maybe 8 inches or so. Okay, all right, so the yarn is coming out of this one. The next stitch, we're going to put the yarn up through that loop as if going up. So kind of lay that stitch down to see that we're going to put the yarn in this way. So it goes up, and then the other 3 we're going to layer on top of each other. So put these 2 down on top of each other and this one on top. Okay, so it's kind of like another central double decrease. That middle one on top, all lined up. So we're going to take the yarn and go through all 3 so that the yarn comes out inside the stalk. So I will see if I can reach inside and pull it through. Where'd it go? There it is. Okay, I can pull on that, pull it tight. Okay, get it nice and snug. And you can kind of shape the toe. Okay, nice round toe. Don't need our stitch marker anymore. Okay, and then if you want, you can actually turn this inside out so that you can tie off that end. Where did it go? There we go. So if you want to just tie a knot, all right. Tie a knot, then you can just kind of tuck it in to some of these stitches a little bit to hide the tail. Doesn't have to be super pretty because it's the inside of the sock. All right, then you can cut the extra off. All right, push the toe back out. There we go. Now, let's see, to make the edge of the cuff look nice. We're going to hide this tail from the slip knot. So find where this pretty edge of the chain is, that kind of that braided look. So find one of these loops over here where you can kind of tuck it behind and around back to that knot from the slip knot. And you can actually put it back into that knot if it's not overly tight. How many times did I just say knot? Okay. So that kind of completes the chain around the edge, and then you can hide the end. Just kind of tuck it around a few stitches. Okay. Then we can fold it over. Okay. Some green fluff there. All right. All right. So shape it. Looking good. Okay. Next, we can take these two tails and kind of wrap them around each other a few times. Once you get them good and twisted, save a little bit on the ends to tie back down. So we're going to tuck them in and then tie a knot. So I'll get the red one under. Let's see, I'll tuck the white one under too. Okay, once they're tucked under, you can, let's see, gotta get them around something so it makes sense when I tie a knot. There we go. Okay, I'll do a double knot. There we go, and then tuck in your ends. Just find the same color to tuck it behind. Tuck the white behind, some white. There we go. All right. So there's the cute little loop for hanging, and there's our stocking.